Students, in the last video session, we have learned about nuclear fission reaction, uncontrolled chain reaction. In uncontrolled chain reaction, one nucleus like uranium splits into two fragments by the release of three neutrons. These three neutrons will again initiate the process, releasing in three neutrons, three neutrons, three neutrons, and these three will initiate one more. This process goes on. This is uncontrolled chain reaction. It is uncontrolled chain reaction. K is greater than 1. First generation rate, second generation rate, third generation rate. If you take ratio of that, it is said to be K. The generation rate is increasing. The ratio of second generation to that of first generation is greater than 1. So this is uncontrolled chain reaction. In uncontrolled chain reaction, you need to, like, as the amount of energy which is produced here is enormous amount of energy, and this results in breakage of the whole, like the surrounding temperature will be increased drastically. Therefore, apart of advantages, there are more disadvantages with such type of uncontrolled chain reaction whose value, K value, greater than 1. Therefore, you need to control the rate of reaction. That means K value, if you are somehow making this equal to 1, then it is said to be controlled chain reaction. It is said to be controlled chain reaction. Somehow if K value is made equal to 1, that means the fission rate in the second generation and first generation is same, third generation and second generation is same. If the rate of fission, if it is maintained constant, then such type of reaction which is taking place is said to be controlled chain reaction. How can you control a chain reaction? So in order to control a chain reaction, what we do, we will avoid some of the neutrons without participating with fission reaction. We will avoid some of the neutrons which are ejected in the process. For example, there is one neutron initially, and this is starting one fission process. And when this is releasing, when this break into two fragments by the release of three neutrons, out of three neutrons, only one is allowed, the other one is absorbed, and the other one is absorbed. Two are absorbed, and only one is allowed to participate in the reaction. And this reaction again continue, where there will be three more neutrons released, and out of which only one is allowed to participate in the reaction, remaining two neutrons are absorbed. So each time there is only one fission reaction taking place from generation to generation. So in the first generation, number of fission reactions taking place is 1. In the second generation also it is 1. In the third generation also it is 1. Therefore, K will be equal to 1. So in a nuclear fission reaction, if the neutrons, if not all neutrons are allowed to participate in the reaction, out of which only some neutrons are allowed to participate in the nuclear fission reactions, then such reaction is said to be nuclear fission controlled chain reaction. And this happens only if the neutrons are being controlled using control rods. So we will be using some boron and cadmium. Boron and cadmium rods are generally used in order to absorb these neutrons, So out of all the neutrons, some of the neutrons will be absorbed by boron and cadmium, and only few neutrons are allowed to participate in the reaction. Therefore, such a process, such a reaction is said to be controlled chain reaction. And this controlled chain reaction is executed in a nuclear reactor. So the principle of constructing nuclear reactor is controlled chain reaction. Controlled chain reaction is the principle of constructing nuclear reactor. So uncontrolled chain reactions are being controlled by using control rods, and as a result of that, usually boron and cadmium are used as control rods, and by using these control rods, the rate of fission can be decreased to 1. The number of fission reaction for every generation will be maintained constant, and this is the principle of constructing nuclear reactor, and it is controlled chain reaction. Now let us learn how to construct a nuclear chain, how to construct a nuclear reactor. Students, as we know, nuclear fission is the source of enormous amount of energy, and that source of enormous amount of energy can be executed by constructing a nuclear reactor. But in order to construct a nuclear reactor, there are few parts necessary, and that parts we will first discuss, and after that we will be learning how to make use of this reactor. The important parts of nuclear reactor is: number 1, the fuel; number 2, the moderator; number 3, control rods; number 4, coolant; and number 5, radiation shields. These are the important parts of nuclear reactor. Now let me explain each part in detail. So what is meant by a nuclear core? The first part is nuclear core. Nuclear core. As we know, in order to initiate, like for starting a nuclear reactor, definitely we should have nuclear fission reaction. And this nuclear fission reaction is exhibited by only heavier massless elements which are unstable. Therefore, in nuclear core, you will be taking uranium 92 235, or you can take thorium 90 228. So like that, these heavier massless nucleus, which are usually unstable, they are taken as small rods. They are taken as small rods, and these small rods act as nuclear core, and it is just like fuel for running an automobile. Likewise, nuclear core is that we will be taking uranium and thorium nucleus. Not only uranium and thorium, you can use their isotopes as well. These acts as a fuel for working of nuclear reactor. That's nuclear core. And second is moderator. Now what is the use of this moderator? Let me explain. Moderator. Moderator plays important role in construction of nuclear reactor. So what is the use of moderator? See, as we already have learned that if you are taking a uranium nucleus, it's split into 2 fragments by the release of 3 neutrons. This is 1 neutron, this is 1 neutron, and this is 1 neutron. The energy of these neutrons along with the daughter nuclei is nearly 220 MeV, or nearly 220 MeV, 220 MeV to 200 MeV. These neutrons have very high kinetic energy, greater kinetic energy. neutrons emitted in fission process has very high kinetic energy. Very high kinetic energy. Such high kinetic energy neutrons cannot initiate nuclear fission. Therefore, we slow down them and decrease their kinetic energy. They become thermal neutrons with less kinetic energy. And these thermal neutrons can initiate the fission. Okay, so as the neutrons which are coming out or which are being ejected in the nuclear fission process, in order to initiate 3 more nuclear fission reactions, we require these neutrons to be slowed down because they have very high kinetic energy. Because of such greater kinetic energy, they can be penetrated throughout the nucleus. Therefore, usually these fast moving neutrons will not initiate nuclear fission easily. So what we do, we need to decrease their speed. In order to decrease their speed, we will be introducing deuterium, or we will be using or heavy water or graphite as moderator. So we can use these as a moderator. What does this moderator do? This moderator, when fast moving neutrons get collide with this deuterium or heavy water, most of their kinetic energy is lost to heavy water. Because of that, the fast moving neutrons get slowed down because they are losing their kinetic energy to heavy water. Their speed decreases. As their speed decreases, they are said to be thermal neutrons, and those thermal neutrons can initiate fission process. So moderator is the important part of nuclear reactor, where if moderator is not present, the rate of reaction cannot be maintained constant. So in order to maintain that rate of reaction by a constant value and the process to be a chain reaction, we will be slowing down such fast moving neutrons in a nuclear reactor by using moderator. Usually heavy water or deuterium is used as moderator in a nuclear reactor. That is second important part of a nuclear reactor. Yeah. So step by step. So first we are taking the fuel, uranium or thorium or any radioactive specimen should be taken and taken in the form of small rods in the core of a nuclear reactor. And slowly we will initiate the process by heating that core. As you heat neutrons, they gain some kinetic energy resulting in fission process. Once the fission process is initiated externally by our source, if the fission process get initiated, it itself, one fission reaction, if it is taking place, results 3 neutrons. And out of those 3 neutrons, in order to maintain the rate of reaction equal, which is K equal to 1, we need to absorb some neutrons. in order to absorb those neutrons, we will be inserting control rods. We will be inserting this control rods in nuclear reactor core to absorb the neutrons. So control rods are used to absorb. Control rods are used to absorb neutrons to decrease the rate of reaction. Rate of reactions of nuclear fission. And usually these control rods are introduced in core. These control rods are introduced in core, usually boron and cadmium. Boron and cadmium are best preferable control rods because they have ability of absorbing neutrons. That's the reason why boron and cadmium can be inserted in the nuclear core. Once they are inserted in the nuclear core, the rate of fission can be controlled. Hence, they are said to be control rods. Whenever we want to control the reaction rate, then we will be introducing boron and cadmium. If the reaction rate is to be increased, then we will just remove this boron and cadmium rods from this nuclear reactor core. Once we remove, again the fission rate can be increased. And whenever we want to decrease the fission rate, if we feel that the fission rate is going on beyond the limit, then we will be inserting such control rods into the reactor core. As a result, neutrons can be absorbed. By that, the reaction rate can be decreased. That's how control rods plays major role in controlling the reaction rate of nuclear fissions. And number 4, it is coolant. So what is this coolant? So as we know that in the fission reaction, usually the amount of 200 MeV to 220 million electron volts of energy is released in this process, very high energy. And this energy, because of this high energy, the temperature of the reactor goes on increases, because each fission reaction is producing energy of 200 million electron volt. Because of that, the temperature of the reactor goes on increases. If this process continue, at some instant, at some particular temperature, the reactor will break. Because of such greater unbearable heat energies, the reactor may burst out because of such greater temperatures. In order to avoid that, we will be using water to decrease temperature of nuclear reactor. Why we are using water as coolant? Because specific heat of water is 1 calorie per gram degree Celsius. Water is freely available and water is very cheap, and moreover it has very high specific heat capacity. More amount of energy it can absorb, and its temperature increases by very small value. So therefore, water is best used as coolant in big industries in order to cool down the uh, the machines and industries, the machines in industries. So water is used as coolant in order to decrease the temperature of nuclear reactor because it has greater specific heat. So that is 4th part, coolant. And the last part is radiation shields. So what does radiation shields do? The 5th very important part is radiation shields. Name itself tells you, radiation shield. radiation shield mean which blocks something. Radiation shield mean which blocks radiations from coming out of the nuclear reactor core, which is said to be nuclear radiation shield. So as we know, in fission reaction we have alpha rays, beta rays, gamma rays. These are radioactive rays. These are radioactive rays. And when human body is exposed to these rays, they cause radiational damage to human body. They cause radiational damage to human body. That means when these gamma radiations are high penetrating radiations. They can penetrate through our body. So as their penetration is very high, when we are exposed to these gamma radiations, they pass through our body, and when they are passing through our body, they cause radiational damage. They kill some important cells, microorganisms, which are very useful for our body. That is the reason why when we are exposed to these radioactive rays, they cause radiational damage to our body. So that is the reason why these alpha, beta, gamma rays, which are ejected in nuclear fission process, should not be allowed to come out from the nucleus reactor core. Therefore, we will be taking nuclear radiation shields in order to block these alpha, beta and gamma radiations such that they cannot come out from that shield. Usually concrete walls of greater thickness. Concrete walls of greater thickness is used as radiation shields. So these are very important parts of nuclear reactor. So first one is the fuel, second one is moderator, third one is control rods, fourth one is coolant, fifth one is radiation shield. Now coming to this figure, this is the schematic diagram of nuclear reactor. This part is shield, the outer part is a shield, and this is a fuel rods. Those fuel rods are slightly heated. As a result, they start nuclear fission process, and there will be moderator here, and that moderator will slow down fast moving neutrons, and the rate of reaction goes on increases. Whenever we want to control the rate of reaction, we will introduce these control rods into this fission core. When we are introducing control rods, they absorb fast moving neutrons, and as a result, only few neutrons are allowed to undergo this fission reaction. Only few neutrons are allowed to initiate the fission process. As a result, controlled chain reaction can be obtained. K value can be made equal to 1. And in this process, there will be very high amount of energy released. For every nuclear reaction, there will be 200 million electron volts of energy released. And because of that high heat energy, there will be some water surrounded by this fission, and that water, so this is water, this water is surrounded by fission core, and this water gets heated up, and once this water get heated up, it get converted to steam, and that steam is pumped through this secondary coolant pipe. So that steam is pumped out through this secondary coolant pipe, and there will be turbines which are placed here, and these turbines are rotated due to kinetic energy of the steam. steam has very high kinetic energy than that of water kinetic energy. So that is the reason why water gets converted to steam. Steam is in the vapor form. They have greater kinetic energy. As a result, they rotates the turbine faster. For every one rotation, there will be induced EMF developed in the circuit. As a result, because of rotation of the turbines, there will be electrical energy produced due to electromagnetic induction phenomenon. And as a result, the EMF developed here will be used in order to glow this bulb. That is how nuclear energy is produced in this fuel rods. And this nuclear energy gets converted into heat energy. Heat energy is used to convert water into steam. And steam kinetic energy is used in rotating the turbines. And rotation of turbines mean that heat energy getting converted into mechanical energy. Mechanical energy by rotating the turbines gets converted into electrical energy, and that electrical energy can be used for practical purpose, as electrical energy can be converted into any other form easily. This is how nuclear reactor works by the principle of controlled chain reaction mechanism, and these are the important parts of nuclear reactor. And once the water get heated up and it is getting converted into steam, that steam will be cooled down. Steam, as steam temperature will be slightly decreased and it gets cooled down, and that water is again recycled and it is sent into nuclear reactor. So this process goes on. There will be inlet for pumping water into the reactor core, and there will be one outlet for taking steam out from the nuclear reactor core. So we will be pumping water inside and we will be collecting steam outside. So this process continues, and as a result, electrical energy is continuously generated in this reactor core. So nuclear reactor working principle is explained thoroughly in this particular video session. Power generated in a nuclear reactor. Power of a nuclear reactor. So as we have already discussed that large amount of heat is being produced in the reactor core, and these reactors have elaborate cooling system that use water. Water absorbs heat energy and produces steam. Steam rotates the turbines, and as a result, electrical power is generated. Therefore, the power generated by a nuclear reactor is equal to energy into time. So P is equal to N capital E divided by T, which is, I can write it as N by T into capital E, where N by T is called number of fission per unit second. The number of fissions per unit second, and usually for every one fission reaction, 200 million electron volt of energy, million electron volt energy is released. Therefore, million is 10 power 6, 200 into 10 power 6. Electron volt can be converted into joule, 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joule. This gives you nearly 3.2 into 10 power minus 11 joule. So total energy which is produced in joule is 3.2 into 10 power minus 11 joule. This is for one fission. And as we know, this there will be some 10 power 10, 10 power 8, 10 power 20, very high number of fissions taking place for 1 second. Therefore, this energy for one fission is this value. As n value goes on increases, the number of fissions taking place per 1 second goes on increases, energy released also increased, therefore power also goes on increases. And the uses of nuclear reactors are to generate electric power, that is first foremost primary use of nuclear reactor. And the second is to produce nuclear fuel plutonium-239 and other radioactive materials which have a wide variety of application in fields of medicine, industry and research. So apart of electric power generation, we will be like for research and technology, we will be using nuclear reactors of smaller size and smaller magnitude for research and technology. But for bulk production, we will be using nuclear reactor to produce electric power. These are the uses of nuclear reactor and power generated in a nuclear reactor.